women more visible. And today my guest is the amazing Annette Densham, who you're going to hear all about. If you don't know her already, where have you been? And this show is all about shining a light on female founders and women doing extraordinary things in business. And Annette, you definitely fit that one. So, hi.
Thank you. Hello, and welcome
Hello,
to
you look like
Brunswick
you're
Head.
camping, are you?
I am. We're at Brunswick Heads on the river, and I'm a little soggy because it's been raining all weekend. If you ever don't want to get wet, just ask me if I'm going camping, and you can be pretty certain it'll rain.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's kick off by telling everybody what it is that you do.
Well, that's such a good question, is it? Because sometimes people go to me, I don't even know what you do. And I go, I'm a writer and a storyteller, and I've been doing that my whole life, even before I got paid to do it. So I started out as a journalist. So now I take those skills of being able to ask questions and get people to tell me things that they may not necessarily have thought was important, but they've never been asked the right questions. So I draw those things out of people, or that's what we do at the Audacious Agency, so that we can really showcase their point of difference, their expertise, their stories, their journey, all of those things that we overlook and we go, nah, that's not important. Nobody needs to know that. And it's like, yeah, that they do. So we help you tell your stories through awards and content, so that people know, like, and trust you. I mean, it's all about relationships. And if people don't have an insight into, the holistic you, maybe not that you had a fight with your husband last night, but, that businessy type of stuff, is that you tend to have warmer conversations. You're not constantly chasing cold leads, because we drop breadcrumbs with these beautiful stories. So that's what we do. We use your content. We make you look awesome through awards and beautiful articles that we write for people.
And are you particularly focused on women, or do you do both, or what?
Yeah. Look, 80% of one of the things of camping, I just got bitten by a horsefly. Oh, yes. Predominant 80% of our clients are women.
Okay.
And I think that's because I started my business in my mid-40s. I wasn't a spring chicken. I had a lifetime. A lifetime of being an employee. So, I'm a really good employee. I do what I'm told. I go above and beyond. And I never thought that what I did was really special until someone pointed that out to me. I just went, like, can't everybody write? Like, really? It's not that hard. And then when I realized it was my unconscious competence, I went, oh, maybe other women feel like this too. Like, if I'm struggling promoting myself in business, then I have those skills. I've worked as a journalist. I worked in PR. I've worked in comms. I know what to do. Other people don't know what to do, and we take that for granted when we're good at stuff. That often people look at us and go, wow, imagine being able to share that with people. And women are terrible at doing that. I'm going to say, this is a technical term, Jules. We're shit at talking about ourselves.
I started that program when I had Handle Your Own PR a few years ago, called Fig Jam, and it was getting journalists to write bios, because, and you would know this because you've worked with a lot of women as well, when you're doing PR, you're often helping people write their story, and they literally, most women will look at it and go, oh my God, that's not me. And you go, it is you. You have done all these things. And people just don't realize how amazing or how inspiring their story might be. So
absolutely. And it really comes from, as I said, 80% of the people we work with are women, and they're mostly over 40, because we're over 40. We've been there. We've had the kids, or we've had trouble having kids, or we've not had kids, or we've struggled in our careers. We've been made redundant. We've been bullied. We've been sexually harassed. We've been victims of misogyny. And, you ask any woman who worked in the 80s and 90s or the 70s, they will tell you very similar stories. Not everybody, but a lot of women. So we've been taught to be small, Jules.
Yes, but the other thing is that there is an assumption that women running businesses are very young. And the reality is that 70 or 80% of them are over 40, 45. So that's, I think, another thing that plays into it. So we've got this feelings of insecurity and imposter syndrome at the same time as being a bit older and having everyone talk as if most business owners are young. And the whole thing is just kind of all a bit screwed up. But tell me, why did you set up the Audacious Agency? What's the purpose? What's the sort of story behind it?
Well, I met my fabulous partner in Shine, Lauren Clement, pretty much when I started my business 12 years ago through a Facebook business group.
Okay.
One of the most powerful things I think have ever been created on the planet is Facebook business groups.
Yeah.
Some of my best relationships and friendships and partnerships have come from there. And we kind of started sharing clients between each other. Lauren is an amazing branding specialist. She's worked in marketing and advertising pretty much a whole life. So she was really good at creating those foundations for clients, because I'd find they'd come to me looking for PR. I want to be on a current affair. I want to be famous. I want to go viral. I want to do all of these things. Yet they didn't have a bio. They didn't know who their target audience was. They didn't know what their point of difference was. They didn't know those really important foundations of business. So we'd swap. And then I started, and then the media changed. I mean, it's constantly changing, but something happened.
Really change.
Oh, yeah. We went from, you could send a media release and a journalist would go, oh, that sounds like a good story. I'll pick up the phone and I'll talk to them, to you're lucky if you can get anybody on the phone these days. And it really started to be the replication and duplication of social media viral videos, which was making news headlines, or influencers, or the world changed. So I went, I have to change. I cannot do this anymore, because it's heartbreaking for my clients, pitching and pitching and pitching, and nobody's interested. So Lauren and I went, actually Lauren rang me and she went, I've been watching you do all of this stuff with business awards, and I've never entered one. I think they're a bit wanky. And I went, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why do you say that? And she shared because she worked in advertising, so they had buckets of trophies, and it had really just become meaningless to them. And I went, well, kind of think about, as a small business person, how nice it feels when you're acknowledged for something you've worked really, really hard at, and nobody really knows about it, and you deserve for people to know about it. And she went, oh. So she entered the Stevie Asia Pacific Award. She won a silver for her neuro branding program. And she rang me and she went, oh, I think there's something in this. And I went, duh, Fred. And we just started from there. We launched the award-winning adventure to New York to go to the Stevie Awards. And we've just built from there, because as we've discovered, like everything that we do, Jules, is based on what we've done for ourselves and what we've learned building a business and being a middle-aged woman, and, all of those things that everybody else feels we've felt too, and have just one foot in front of the other. And imagine if we could create an agency where women could come to us, be safe in telling their story, and know that it's going to be written well and written with heart and written with feeling, instead of, some of these boring old.
But then there's two other things that I think are also important. One is that even though you and I think, are in a bit of a bubble around women, I assumed that women were winning at least half of the awards, and I don't think that's true at all. In fact, I have heard a stat of 13%. So clearly it is time for us to step up. But the other thing is, however nice it feels for you as a person to get that acknowledgement, for your customers, if they go to your website and see award-winning, or your LinkedIn profile and see award-winning, it immediately gives them a comfort. And I think that there's a lot of that third-party endorsement, which of course PR does as well, but that third-party endorsement that's really important to show that you're not just blowing smoke up everyone's bum and saying, I'm great at this, and which of course everybody claims, but not everybody wins awards. And so I think that that's another real sort of credibility thing for anybody who's got a business, but particularly for women.
Absolutely. Social proof. If we've learnt nothing from the last 10 years of social media and the growth of influencers, is that social proof is really the currency of the realm. And I think, Jules, what we forget when we're marketing, PR, awards, whatever type of marketing you're doing, that it's not about that one moment, that one win, that one viral video, that one award win, that, you know, you mentioned there your client goes to your website, they see that you've won, they then go and Google you and they see that you've been on a podcast with Jules Brooke, and they've seen that you've written an article for Koshi's, and they've seen that you're prolific on LinkedIn, and they've seen you've got blogs on your website. And we call this the Hansel and Gretel approach, because we understand the psychology of why and how people buy. They don't buy because you're in front of them doing your big rah-rah, unless you're
really lucky.
Unless you're really lucky. Most of it will come from, hey, I've been following you for a while, and they build that picture and that story of you in their head. So by the time they go, you know what, I'm ready to have an award written, or I'm ready to, you know, go to Bali with Jules, or I'm ready to, you know, whatever it is that you're ready to do, and you've already connected, and you know that person that you're going to work with didn't make it up in the bath last night or do a 2-week course.
Yeah, which is, and having just judged the Beam Awards, certainly one of the things I'd say to people is make sure that you put your evidence in there, because because people were being marked on their evidence, and I don't know whether they realised that. But anyway, that was just a small thing that I noticed.
That's a really good point, Jules. Can we just touch on that?
Yeah,
because I had a few people reach out to me, and I don't do it for everyone, but because I really like them and known them a long time, I went through their entry for them, because I want to elevate the standard of entries, whether people are working with me or they're doing it themselves. Yeah. And you know what's a really handy thing to do when you're writing a business award?
What?
Read the criteria. It's there. It boggles my mind. I've been a judge and read it and gone, like, it's all written there for you. You know, this is what we want from you. This is how many words. Yeah. And
you can't do what a couple of people did, which was, my story's too long. Go and have a look at my Facebook page. That doesn't work in an awards when you're trying to churn through hundreds of people.
Yep, you answer the questions in the entry, and this is what I say to people: go back, reread the question. Every time you've written something, go back and reread the question. Say it's, you know, what are the 3 top achievements you're most proud of, and why are they significant for your business? So, you know, tell us about your achievements. That's your first criteria.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going to say, I grew by 50% in 2023, you then want to go, how did that happen? Because that's the first thing that someone will say. So always be questioning. I grew. Well, how did I do that? That's what the judges want to know. And then the next important part of that is what's significant. People often miss the second part of the question because they're so focused on the first. And you're the biggest problem, leaving things to the last minute.
Yes, which I think we all do. And I mean, I was talking with someone last week, and they had spent 8 hours doing their award because and also because even though you can repurpose some of the content, you can't repurpose all of it. And so, there was a bit of the whole, oh my God, I thought I'd be able to use other bits. And I was up until 10 o'clock on Sunday night writing. My heart went out to her.
The Beam Awards were open in October last year. So, and I know Beck even extended the deadline. And look, and I'm not having a go at people because, God, I'm a traditional leave it to the last minute. Yeah. But my background's journalism. I'm used to deadlines. Holy cow. Everything's falling down around me. Warning, danger, Will Robinson. The joys of business is, but if you know in advance that an award's coming up,
start preparing for it.
Start preparing now. Start preparing in October for what you want to do in the next year. So you're not feeling, because it really shows in entries, and it really shows with a lot of people who are now using ChatGPT to write their responses.
Yes, that is again very obvious. I noticed that.
Yeah, and it writes beautiful words. You know, it's lovely, descriptive, flowery prose that says nothing.
Yeah, I know, because it doesn't know anything about you at all. So, Annette, we've talked sort of around the outside, but do you want to be specific about what your business and what you can offer people? What are the different packages? And then I'm going to get you to tell me some stories. But how can people work with you? What's on offer?
Okay, so there's a few ways people can work with us. Those who may be just dipping their toe into the water
Yeah.
of business awards. Now, every one of our business award package also includes repurposing, leveraging. So how do we use the journey to help you get in front of more people by using that one award program?
And what
And
do you do
also,
there? What do? You teach
well, we make
people or you do it
social
yourself?
media. No, we do it for them. So we write their entry, we go through it afterwards, and we might pull out some key quotes and make them some little tiles and go, here's what we want you to go and put on Facebook.
Yeah,
It would
right.
surprise you that 80% of the people we do this for never ever use the content we send them. Like,
Which is their own content anyway.
yeah. And it's been done for them, and I tell them exactly what to do with it. And I think that comes back to imposter syndrome, not that they don't want to share. Yeah.
Because people kind of go, I've already posted about it once. I don't want everyone to think that I've got tickets on myself.
Yeah. But here's
how
the thing.
How many times have we gone through social media? Something popped up today from Pajama Day. That was a week ago. I would have loved to have known about Pajama Day. I would have done my interview in my PJs. But, so things take a long time to get to people's feeds.
Yeah, and you've got to be constantly dropping those breadcrumbs because,
Right.
every day we're hit with 73 gigabytes of information.
Oh,
That's
wow.
16 movies.
Is that a stat?
Yeah, it is. I did a lot of research on that. Is a definite stat. 73 gigs. And we're not taking it all in, obviously. So if you're sitting there going, I posted about my award 2 weeks ago, why is nobody ringing me? Because they probably missed it. That's why you've got to keep going back. So we've got every award package includes that. Plus we also do like a thought leadership legacy style article. So not a might be a profile piece. Yeah, or it's normally like a helpful, useful piece that's not marketing, that's not sales, but it's another one of those breadcrumbs you can drop and they can go, oh my God, I didn't know she could do that.
Yeah.
So we've got a 3-pack of awards, so you can do 3 awards. We repurpose a couple into. We've got a 5-pack, we've got a 10-pack, and then we've got our 12 and 6-month profile building packages, which is intense, lots of content. I mean, we do it all, lots of awards, and we create all of that content and we share it around and we get people published and we get them into finals and win an award. So it's all about what we call becoming Googleicious. So when someone goes and types in Jules Brooke, they go, oh my God, look at all of this stuff that's out there. And that takes 6 to 12 months to do. It's certainly not an overnight thing. So that's what we do.
PR, I say to people, you really want 10 to 12 articles published. And then you're going to start owning your Google page if somebody Googles you. And that'll make a difference. And of course, the awards is even better. It's even more endorsements. So I think it's fantastic. Okay. So talk to me, give me a couple of examples, a couple of stories of women that you have worked with. And I don't know, anything from the beginning of the award through to what it's maybe done for their business.
Okay, absolutely. I've got one perfect one, which I can tell you almost every phase of someone's objections to doing awards and building their profile all the way through to, so when we first started the Audacious Agency, so let's start a business at the beginning of a global pandemic, winning, which is how we went to specialize in awards, because we realized that, mainstream PR just wasn't working. What was our point of difference? It's not many places that have people who've worked in the media, PR, corporate comms, advertising and marketing, who write awards from a strategic point of view, because we're not just copywriters. Just thought I'd put that in there. We're more than copywriters. We're very strategic.
Positioning, I noticed.
Positioning, very positioning, very position. I position myself. So the wonderful Sonia Gibson from Accounting Heart reached out to us through her marketing manager, Karen. And she had worked in accounting all of her life. This was her profession, her calling. She worked in accounting firms mostly run by men. So she was often getting the tea or being spoken down to. And she got to the point where she went, you know what? This is not how I want to treat my clients. I'm going to go out and start my own firm called Accounting Heart. So it's all about the heart and the head. you know,
Love it.
you know, remembering people are human, and putting a bit more of that feminine spin on numbers, so women in business, particularly small business, feel safe instead of spoken down to. Who's had a male accountant speak down to them like they're a complete nutter idiot? Yes, a lot of us have. So she came to me and she said, "Or I really want to enter awards and do some more content, but I don't like writing. I don't want to write. I don't want to learn how to write. I really don't want to make it about me. And I'm an accountant." And I went, "Oh, hang on, I just fell asleep. You said accountant, joking. How could that be possibly one of the dullest professions to promote?" And I went, "All right, you've given me a challenge, lady.
Bring it on."
So within 6 months, we had, you know, blogs on her website every week. I was teaching her. So every time I wrote a blog, she'd hop on and I would take her through the process of how I wrote it. And then I would give her a job to do. I said, "I want you to now go and do this." The end of 6 months, she was writing her own blogs and loving it. She had a newsletter going out. She won Australian Women Accountant of the Year. She won a Stevie Award. She made the stage 4 of the Telstra Best of Business Awards.
Oh, wow.
She was finalist in numerous awards. She was up on stage giving acceptance speeches. Keep going 12 months. We kept going. After about 18 months, I said to her, "Look, I'd really love to enter what we've done to you into an award because, you know, you've been our guinea pig in this process."
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you give me some of the results of what's happened from working with us?" So she now ranks organically page 1 for female accountant in Sydney. She did that after 3 or 4 months, just with the volume of content that we were doing, repurposing, creating social media tiles. Every day there was something going out about Sonia or Accounting Heart or tips on small business, like everything and anything you could think about accounting, but also about the emotional side of it, so we could show that Sonia was different to others. Her business grew by 30% of the bottom line. She was being invited to, you know, closed door meetings with, you know, the leaders of some of the big businesses like Xero and
Who'd read about her and then seen the award.
Read about it or seen her post on LinkedIn that she'd won an award or she'd made the finals of an award. And she was being asked to speak on podcasts, which she swore she would never do, but she did. So I think that story shows that you can be the most introverted, shy, reticent, you know, scared, fearful person of putting yourself out there.
And you can be in an industry that's traditionally maybe not terribly exciting and still pull out a great story.
Yeah, because it's just about that little things every day. You know, there's a great book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which is about compounding interest. And that's really what PR and marketing and all of this stuff that we do, which is about, so what do I do today? What do I do today? So over the first 6 months we worked with Sonia, she built her confidence in herself. She could see in her award submissions and in her articles that we were writing for a reflection of who she wanted people to see her as. And she started to believe it because she'd go, "Oh my God, that woman sounds amazing." So many women have said that to me. "That can't be me. That's surely you made that up."
I know. Hilarious.
I'm pretty good at BS, but I like to think that, you know, the facts and truth are far more powerful than anything that I can make up. This is how I see you. This is the story that you told to me or one of our team, and this is how we interpreted that back. And just, I got goosebumps. And that has happened woman after woman. If they commit to doing the process, then at 12 months, they will look back over their business. And, you know, the wonderful thing is, as much as we like people to come back to us, by 12 months, they've really got enough momentum and they've learned enough skills that they can take the awards we've written and rewrite it for their own awards.
Yeah, nice.
You know, the things that we've taught them. So we're big believers in, we want to work with you for a long time, but what we also really want to do is teach you how to fish. so you can do it yourself.
Yeah. But I guess what's nice is as their businesses grow and there's more cash, then hopefully they'll keep getting you to do it, because there's a payoff, which is time, of course. And time is something that as a small business owner, we're always kind of struggling to find more of. Well, listen, we're going to have to wrap this up in a tick very quickly. If someone wants to get hold of you or to work with Audacious Agency, where should they go?
If they go to theaudaciousagency.com and go contact us, there's a little box there that says book a time. You can book a time with me, you can book a time with Lauren, you can book a time with, I'm pretty sure, any of our team. We're just moving to Google Workspace, so everything's kind of moving over. Yeah, it's fabulous. But you can either book a time with Lauren or I, and we will have a 20-minute chat with you. We'll ask you what you want to do, what you want to achieve. If you're talking to me, I might make you feel a little uncomfortable when I kind of push you as to, what you really want to get out of this. That sounds scary, doesn't it? No, it'll be wonderful. I'll make you laugh. But I really want you to look at and go, this is the right path for me. If it's not, then I'll go, you know what, go talk to this person or go talk to that person.
You're very generous that way. Okay, so theaudaciousagency.com, and you, of course, are all over LinkedIn and Facebook as well, which this will be live streamed through. Annette, thank you so much, particularly because you're clearly out and about, and I really appreciate you doing this interview with me. If anyone is interested in finding out more about She's the Boss Group, which is for female founders and women running businesses who are over 45, then go to she'sthebossgroup.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn or join the Facebook She's the Boss Group, which is really engaged and lots of fun. I also coach women in how to become a woman of influence, so very happy to chat to anyone about that. And go and check out womenspeakers.com.au, because I'm launching a directory this week to see if we can change the stats around the number of women that are on stages. But Annette, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. And if you're fishing, I hope you catch fish.
Well, if I don't need a rod because I've got a net.